Riverland football time, and the big Beaver, he had a week off last week, so we gave him the week off. They didn't play in Riverland, but Independent did, but we'll have a look at that in a moment. But Big Beaver, how are you?
Good, Wayne. How are you, mate?
Good. We won't spend too much time on the Riverland games because everyone obviously knows the score, but just one thing. Have you ever seen a scoreline where a club kicked 23 goals and then 2 points? I mean, plus 20 goals and only 2 points. Is that one of the first times you've ever seen it? Because I can't remember seeing it too often.
No, it's definitely the first time I've seen it, Wayne. It's pretty remarkable, really. They obviously had their kicking boots on that day. It's, pretty good feat.
Well done, Loxton, for that, beating Berry 23-2 to 11-8. Your boys, Waikerie, something to mention out of this game, 11-9 to beat Barmah and Monash 1-5. Two things probably. Barmah and Monash, I haven't seen too many games where the Blue Boys have only got one goal. But the second one is your player, Stephen Braun, one of the Jervois lads that I obviously know from my connection to that club, played his 150th game for your club. But at the same time, we think he's done over 200 games for both Waikerie and Jervois, which is a great achievement.
Yeah, absolutely. Braun, he came to us when he finished uni and has been teaching in Waikerie since then. So I guess he played a couple of years at Jervois before that, and I'm pretty sure some of the Jervois people were pretty annoyed when he came to Waikerie, and I think the rest of the clubs were very happy when he came because he's obviously been a fantastic footballer, state's country centre-half back, and he's been a great servant of our club, and we're very lucky that he still plays today, and well done to him for playing 150. It's a great achievement.
Great achievement. I might just point out for my own Jervois boys that he did play in our premiership side last year, the 2020 premiership. So there you go.
Yeah, no, he did want a year off, and we had a year off because of COVID, so he went back to Jervois, and well done to him. He won a flag.
Good stuff. And Renmark 19-11 beat Loxton North 11-1. Again, great kicking from the Loxton club. So is there something happening around Loxton at the moment that causes them to kick straight?
Oh, I've got no idea, Wayne, but like you said before, I've never seen that before, so it's a great kicking day for them, and well done to them.
Fantastic. Okay, round 4 now. Loxton absolutely taking everything before them. They get Barmah and Monash. There'll be a lot of games in the last 2 or 3 years where Barmah and Monash would have given Loxton an absolute pasting, and I got a reckoning there might be some Tiger payback on the way.
I think there will be, Wayne. Obviously, Barmah and Monash are struggling a little bit this year. I guess the highlights for them are probably Butterworth back in and Mason Middleton as well. Benny Fisher across half-back as well, some of their better players. Their depth just drops away so quickly, and Loxton up and about. Obviously got a lot of young ones back in from years ago, and, Fisher back as well. Ryan Smith has hadn't been playing for a few years. Millard, their coach, has been playing good footy. Raff up forward, kicking goals. Teely down back, keeping the full forwards to not many goals. So great team. They've got it together this year, and I think they'll have quite an easy win over Barmah.
Renmark will come back after a week off, as everyone will, and at their home deck, they played some brilliant football 2 weeks ago. I can't see Berry getting close to Renmark.
Yeah, look, Renmark actually had a few out in that game. When I saw the scores and Loxton North got within a couple of goals at three-quarter time, I sort of wondered why that would be, because I thought Renmark would beat them quite easily, and then they end up winning by 7 goals. But I had a word to young Timmy Jackson during the week, and he said they had 10 out on the weekend, Wayne. So not sure how many they get back this week, but they've still got a great side. Some real great players coming back, and Gallard, Sampson up forward for them, the Walford boys. Lachlan, they're a really good side, really fit side, and I think that'll be the difference in the end, their ability to run 4 quarters out. Berry, they'll be looking for guys like Teasdale in the middle, Safralides, of course, the big fella up forward, and Pumper Sutherland, Brodie Thompson and Ruck. Probably will give him first look at the ball. He's a great ruckman, Brodie. But I still think all over the ground, Renmark were having too much pace and too much fitness and should win this one.
Okay, Waikerie, your boys have got the player auction on the go. Now, Beaver, do I get to put in a bid here on the big Beaver? I mean, how much do you reckon I could put up for the accountant?
Wayne, you give me your checkbook and I'll take care of the rest.
Good stuff. We might have to find a way to get the benefit to the Waikerie boys on the player auction. Big night, of course, some of the big stars of your club, people will put up some money to help raise some funds. But, gee, against Loxton North, you should play I reckon you should have their measure. The Panthers got to be watched. They can play some good footy, but maybe your running brigade might just be able to get over the line here.
Yeah, I hope you're right, Wayne. We've obviously got a couple out, and we've lost a couple of guys for the year with Timmy Bevan and Scotty Mumford going down. They won't play again this year. We've got a couple of lads that have just gone off on a holiday, unfortunately, for 6 weeks. So that's a couple of key outs for us as well. But we've still got a recruited ruckman, Big Tails in the ruck. He's been doing well. Ryan Shaw through the midfield. Jake Spencer's been playing some good footy. So we've got Luke Exton back this year as well. So, we've got a good mix there. So hopefully, we can take it up to the Loxton North this weekend. Lockie Henschke's back for them. He's been playing some great footy. I see he's been named in the middle. Big Hampel and Ruck up against Taylor will be interesting. I see Menningetti's back this week for North, so he's a huge in for him. It should be a good game, but hopefully on our home deck, we've got our players option like you mentioned, so we want to have a win for our supporters and hopefully they get up to the club rooms and support the night as well.
Yeah, it's a changing of the guard at North, that is for sure. Some new names in their side, but Arnold's still one of their greats in there, and he'll put in his best performance for them every week. And no doubt with Schinkel and Schultz, they've got some good names that are still part of that Loxton North brigade, so we'll watch closely. Now let's get across to some independent football, and this is going to be very interesting because last week we had a forfeit, and Brownswell not able to make the trip over to Cambrai to play the Magpies. It's a danger sign that we're seeing for independent football, Beaver.
Yeah, no, it is, Wayne. It's a little bit worrying. They did have a few injuries and a few out due to work commitments, and I think they had 12 available or 15 available, something like that. So, it's a sign that independents are going to struggle a little bit. Obviously we've had Lurip already fold. When we're seeing some big discrepancies in the scores as well. I mean, Blanchetown Swan Reach, absolutely got annihilated last week by Ramco. So, it's not good, but that's country footy at the moment. I think all towns, to a degree, are struggling. And, we've even got a club legend playing in the B grade for Waikerie this weekend in Craig Griffiths, who would be 50. So, there's some not good signs there.
Not good either. Well, then you see that. Craig's a terrific bloke, but wouldn't have expected to be moving from outside the bar and getting back onto the field. Cobby, they've moved from the bar and got on the field. 11-11-77 to Wonka, 8-9-57. Probably one of the upsets, but Cobby have won their first game in more than 1,000 days. It's nearly 3 years since the last Eagles celebration.
Yeah, I reckon you'll find it was 1,000 days before that as well when they won their last one. So It's been a long time for them to win 2 games. But obviously this year they've recruited heavily and got a few Berry and Barmera boys and Lurip boys in their team. And I see Gilden kick 7. He's a Barmera boy and can play footy. And Barbara 3 from Berry and got best players. So they got the job done against Wonka last week. And
Ramco, you mentioned, easily eclipsed Blanchetown Swan Reach 18-18 to 3-9. And for the BSR boys who had that early season win over the boys out at Brownswell, they haven't responded too well since that time. Just Bajassi and also Oakley and Foster, their better players. But 10 goals to Muir for Ramco out of 18, and he was their best player.
Yeah, look, Ramco have got a good side together this year, and they're playing some good footy. And I think I tipped it pretty early, Wayne. I reckon they're the front runners this year, and it'll be good for Ramco. They haven't won a flag for a long time, so they can keep up and keep their players fit and healthy. Will go a long way to them, making the finals and having a crack at a premiership.
Well, we'll have a look at this week. Round 5 is Paringa and BSR. I reckon Paringa might just get home here because it is a long road trip for the Redbacks.
No, absolutely. I think going on form, BSR had one good win against Brown as well, but we know how much they're struggling. So I think Paringa should win this one at home. Now,
are we going to get a game out at Paruna with the Cobdobla and Brownswell as far as we're aware?
As far as we're aware, yes, we are. And if that happens, I'm thinking Cobby will have a very good win.
It'll be their second win in 1,000 days and maybe their third win in 2,000 days, Beaver.
Exactly.
We got Wonka taking on Ramco, the match of the round. The Bulldogs will respond to the loss last week. Can they beat Ramco? And I think this is going to be a really good game.
Yeah, I think it will be a cracker of a game. Wonka have got a lot of young ones running around, so that will come into it because it's a little bit warmer tomorrow. It's still, 23, 24 degrees. So still some warm days we're playing footy in at the moment. But I think Ramco, just from, their depth and what they've recruited, I think they'll be have too much in the tank and should have a win.
All right, big time of Riverland football. Warm days in those orange groves. We'd love to get a fair bit of moisture for the navels to come up and ripen at the right time. And Beaver Venning, who knows all about counting the player auction dollars, there'll be plenty of the Orange Grove people buying up the players, I'm sure, this week at the Waikerie Footy Club. You have a great weekend, Beaver.
I look forward to spending your money, Wayne.